Good morning. Please rise and body your spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn, number 134 in the gray hymnal, Our World is One World. And the lyrics are on the screen.
In this space, with atheists and theists, with pagans and agnostics, with humanists and theists and those who reject labels, what new understandings can emerge if we listen to one another? In this space, full of varied experiences, concerns, and hopes, what new revelations may come if our hearts and minds are open. In this space, where we covenant to seek the truth in love and to help one another, what new ways of life may emerge and come into being? Welcome to this diverse community and to the possibilities within it, just waiting to be born.
One light through many windows, in different colors shines. One flame from many candles burns bright within our minds. One song from many voices now rises from our hearts, and from our separate choices, one chorus, many parts. We light this beacon of hope, a sign for our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together.
Welcome. Welcome to Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or ERUUF, as we like to say. My name is Johann Montozzi-Wood. I am your worship associate today. And whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, gender identities, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey or on your search for truth, meaning, and liberation, you are welcome here in beloved community. If you are visiting with us today, I invite you to rise in body or spirit so that we might give you an ERUUF welcome. Welcome. Thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday morning with us. So if you're watching on the live stream, and have access to the chat, I invite you to place your name there, and someone will welcome you. If you are visiting with us and have children with you today, they are welcome to participate in religious exploration classes with our children. Simply follow the families out of the sanctuary after our time for all ages, and one of our RE people will take care of you and your children, and you'll be able to return back to the service. Also, everyone is invited to attend our Inquirers classes for newcomers and visitors, which takes place directly after the service in the Commons room of the building next door. You'll get to know something about us, and hopefully if you want, you can share something about yourself as well. If you do have children in the RE, make sure to pick them up, and then you'll be told where, and then you'll be told where you can go where you can take them for care during Inquirers. Anyway, they are also welcome to hang out with you in Inquirers if you need. Now would be a great time to turn off or down to worship mode your devices. Yes, any devices you may have. Now, let us take a deep breath together. Weaving beloved community, Judy Moore.
Good morning. I'm here to tell you about the Lakewood Elementary Bag Packing Team, which is part of the Justice Ministry's Alleviating Poverty Action Team. Our volunteers work at Lakewood Elementary School pantry, the food pantry there. Each week they pack 30 bags full of groceries that go home with students, providing a much appreciated food supplement. Lakewood is a Title I school. This means that at least 40% of its students are designated as economically disadvantaged. At Lakewood, this actually applies to 68% of the students, so over 250 children receive free or reduced price lunches Monday through Friday. In addition, the school social worker, looking at need, identifies the families who receive additional bags of food that our packers pack, and they are intended to help over the weekend. The food pantry is a small storage room, actually a very small storage room, off of the gymnasium and is lined with shelves of food. Several groups of volunteers make this program succeed. They're the shoppers, the ERUUF bag packers, and the coordinator of the program, which is yours truly. The role of the shoppers is to buy groceries monthly using a list emailed by the coordinator. These generous shoppers purchase food with their own credit cards and are later reimbursed thanks to a $20,000 annual grant from the Forest at Duke retirement community. Although the shoppers are not formally connected with ERUUF, several of us are ERUUFians, and we could always use more shoppers. So please talk to me after the service or anytime at all if you're at all interested. Now more about our ERUUF bag packing team. The packers use a Google spreadsheet to schedule themselves for shifts, and they can sign up to work either in pairs or individually. Depending on their availability, volunteers work an average of once a month for about an hour each time. And it seems clear that the packers value this experience, as we have had very little turnover through the years. On packing day, they go to the school, sign out the key from the office, and proceed to the pantry. They set up 30 double paper bags and fill them with the items on the weekly list provided by the coordinator. Each bag contains 14 shelf-stable items, such as a can of vegetables or a bag of dried beans, many more things, plus a loaf of bread and a few pieces of fresh fruit. The next day, the Lakewood staff members distribute the bags to the students as they get either onto a school bus or into a car. And that's it until the following week. I have heard through the grapevine that our collaboration with Lakewood began in 2014 as a result of a Children in Poverty discussion at ERUUF. Year after year, our volunteers put their values into action and provide a direct service toward alleviating the effects of poverty here in Durham. Their efforts are appreciated by so many people in the community, especially, of course, the families who receive the groceries. And I am so grateful to be a part of this program.
So, time for our Time for All Ages. So will all the youngins and the young at heart come on down, and we are going to read today. We're going to read a book called Duck Rabbit, and we're reading this because it shows how two people can look at something, which is what we're going to talk about today. Two people can look at something and see different things, and maybe use different words to talk about what they see. So if we're all ready, let's get started. Oh, this is by Amy Krauss Rosenthal with illustrations by Tom Lichtenheld.
Hey, look, a duck.
That's not a duck. That's a rabbit.
Are you kidding me? It's totally a duck.
It is for sure a rabbit.
See? There's his bill. Look at that.
What are you talking about? Those are ears, silly.
God. It's a duck, and he's getting ready to eat a piece of bread. Look at that.
Hey, it's a rabbit, and he's about to eat a carrot.
Wait, listen. Did you hear that? I hear duck sounds.
Quack, quack, quack. That's funny. I hear a sniffing sound. That's a rabbit sound.
And now the duck is wading through a swamp.
No, the rabbit is hiding in the grass.
See there? See there? Right there, right there. He's flying.
Flying? He's hopping. Come on.
Look, the duck is so hot, he's getting a drink of water.
No, the rabbit is so hot, he's cooling off his ears.
What do you think? Here, look at the duck through my binoculars.
Sorry, still a rabbit.
Here, ducky, 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 ducky.
Here, you cute little rabbit.
Oh, great. You scared him away.
I didn't scare him away. You scared him away.
You know, maybe you were right. Maybe it was a rabbit.
Thing is, now I'm thinking actually it was a duck.
So what do you guys think?
What do you think, duck or rabbit?
All right.
Good, I'm with you. Yeah, good.
You think it's a picture, don't you? Okay.
Right. Right.
That-
Sometimes you can look at it and see a duck with a bill, and sometimes a rabbit with his ears. That's right.
All right,
That's
kids.
what
Now it's time to go to your religious exploration classes, right down there.
Peace, salam, shalom. 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 Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our next hymn, which is number 318 in the gray hymnal, We Would Be One. And the lyrics are on the screen. We would be one as now we join in singing our hymns of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other, to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice, strive to make us free. Please turn and greet your neighbor.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots, hold me close. Wings, set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
We hold in our hearts with great compassion all beings who are experiencing sorrow and suffering at this time, both here in our community and throughout the world. We especially send our energies toward and offer prayers for the well-being of those the world over who are experiencing any form of trauma, violence, or devastation due to war, climate displacement, hunger, injury, illness, and the loss of loved ones. We pray also for the health of our planet, our home that nourishes our lives. In beloved community, we recognize and offer prayers for the Orgo family and the Urgo family in California, for Reverend Rebecca Sines, former president of the UU Church of the Philippines, who is facing major challenges and struggles in her work in social justice in Philippines. And because we recognize that it is possible, indeed quite necessary, to acknowledge our joys and celebrations as well as our sorrows, we join with James Jordan, who gives special thanks for his family. In beloved community, we also hold in our hearts all the unspoken concerns and joys among those of us here at ERUUF. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
Amen.
In the year 2000, Fred Campbell, a UU minister serving in the South, wrote a book titled Religious Integrity for Everyone. In his book, he shared what he had discovered in his UU congregations: 4 ways of relating to reality with spiritual health. He called these 4 the 4 faiths: humanism, naturalism, mysticism, and theism. Each of these ways is respectful, rational, and realistic. Yet each uses a different broad frame of reference from which guiding values are derived. So, as an example, let's say 4 UU members win the lottery, yay! And after much thought, each decides to donate a good portions of the winnings to charity, yay again! Each member feels a deep sense of satisfaction and a sense of doing the right thing. To arrive at this decision, the humanist may feel that because they live in the community of humanity and live guided by an ethic urging compassion towards others, it is important to support that community when given the chance. The donation feels right. The naturalist also feels part of something larger, the natural web of life. Because they feel dependent upon and a participant in nature's web, they are led to donate in compassion. That decision feels right. The mystic lives with frequent personal experience of a union with the transcendent, something like the Force, maybe? And through that experience, feels connected intimately to the world. Their experience guides them to make a compassionate donation. It feels right. The theist has the reality of a presence, often labeled a God of many names, that points to a flowing pattern of events and generations of tradition to trust and to rely upon when deciding how to act in the world. They choose compassion, and the donation feels great. How did these 4 decisions differ? The broad frames of reference were different, distinguished from one another by inner stance and by the use of different language. What did these 4 decisions have in common? They were respectful, rational, and realistic. They all used a broad frame of reference, something larger than themselves, and the same decision was made to act in compassion and donate to charity. And the feeling was the same, a great satisfaction in making the right decision. Fred Campbell's book describes in different language what UU theologian Forrest Church calls the cathedral of the world. One light, and look up behind me, many windows. We'll explore the many windows further today by focusing on 2 very human experiences: awe and finding inner strength.
Awe in Hebrew is ERUUF. It's translated as fear of the Lord. It also means respect, reverence, and worship. Scandinavians call it terror, dread, uproar. By the 18th century, the word awe became known to mean reverence. My definition of awe today is to behold something bigger than life to my conscious and my unconscious. I was in awe when I saw the Grand Canyon. I was in awe assisting a patient with the birth of her child. I was in awe when I came to ERUUF and was accepted as me. Awe makes me tingle inside and give reverence to the universe. Since I've been practicing minimalism for 4 years, I've read about leaders who I hold in awe. Jesus, Confucius, Buddha, Gandhi, Obama, Kamala Harris, Oprah, Maya Angelou, who I sat beside at a breast cancer summit. That was awesome. The Quakers and the Shakers. And of course, my newly discovered African roots of the Cameroon people. All for me is practicing simple living with respect for the way of life in Walden's Woods. The contrast between being a theist and a non-theist is not always obvious, because we are all human beings with the same basic needs that are often labeled and relabeled to fit the vocabulary of the times we live in. As a theist, I believe in an existence of a God. I tried non-theist approaches, but felt empty and unrewarded. I needed to be rewarded and have an incentive to live beyond mankind's standards.
Hello, everyone. I'm Catherine Hornberg. As a non-theist, my personal concept of awe centers on wonder and inner peace. Awe to me is this amazing state of in tune with the world around me. The world just gets me in the moment. Let me talk about two specific moments of awe. I'm still new to ERUUF, joining the fellowship as a member in October of last year. I was apprehensive to even join as a visitor. As a non-theist, I had been waffling about looking for a church-like place for years. Whenever I felt like I was in a religious community before, it felt like I was putting on a mask that is hiding my non-theistic beliefs to gain the community I so desired. The first service that I attended virtually at ERUUF was the non-theist group's service on the theme of common ground. I sheepishly joined the live stream and I was transformed. I deeply resonated with the message. ERUUF was fresh air. I knew I needed to be part of this place to keep experiencing this group and grow as a community. To me, that experience was awe. As my group of friends is getting older, some of them have started having children. The first little nephew that I had is a pandemic baby, meaning our collective meeting of him at 3 months old called for a full scrub in, masks, and a collective gathering outside on the porch to coo all over him. I've never felt so much care for a being gathered in one space, that I will protect you and do as much in my power to see you grow and develop into a wonderful being feeling. The best way I could explain the sentiment to a fellow engineer in our group was that we are all contributing to building a tiny little machine learning algorithm of a human, bit by little bit. To me, that is awe. When his mom sends us photos of him walking, then of him talking, then of him hamming it up on video calls to us, that is also awe. He's always going to be the collective auntie's baby, and we cannot wait for all the adventures of him learning and exploring. And with that, I wish everyone similar moments of awe in their daily life. And thank you for allowing me to talk to you today.
Take a moment to get settled. Sit back and relax. And when you're ready, take a slow, deep, calming breath with me. And now breathe normally as we enter into an open space together. And open your eyes and take a look around the sanctuary and find a color that resonates with you. Yes, a color. One that you find beautiful. A color that brings you joy and feels good in your heart. It might be a color in one of our beautiful wall hangings. It might be in a piece of clothing. It might even be a color that you remember vividly. Now gently close your eyes or soften your gaze and imagine that color in your mind's eye. Feel free to switch to a different color if that feels right. Sit quietly with your color. You might create a vivid picture in your mind, or you might just allow it to saturate your consciousness. When we appreciate the beauty of the colors around us, in nature, in art, in the scarf of a stranger, we can experience a feeling of awe and wonder. While you're sitting bathed in color, I will share a poem from the Navajo. Beauty is before me, and beauty is behind me. Above and below me hovers the beautiful. I am surrounded by it. I am immersed in it. In my youth, I am aware of it, and in old age, I shall walk quietly the beautiful trail. In beauty, it is begun. In beauty, it is ended.
Good morning. I'm Jim Lopez, a new member of ERUUF and the Christian Fellowship. I have been a UU since 2020 as an attendee of the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Philippines, or the UUCP. Many members of the UUCP, such as myself, follow a liberal Christian tradition with this shared belief: there is God, and that God is love. I reflect on this aspect of my Filipino UU faith after I've gone through an intense and difficult time last year. It was in June 2023 when my father was diagnosed with end-stage lung cancer. It was in the middle of my second year as a PhD student at Duke University. It had just been only over a year since I arrived here in North Carolina from the Philippines. I had just got reunited with my family, who migrated to the US and settled in Virginia Beach, Virginia, a decade ahead of me. After only a month since receiving news of Dad's diagnosis, we were told that my father's cancer had spread, and he has only a few months to live. It made me drop everything, drive home to Virginia Beach, and help take care of my dad in the last days of his life. Eventually, he passed away in September 2023. At that point, due to my busy schedule as a graduate student at Duke, I had set aside my regular spiritual practice of attending Sunday services. But then, as my family faced the prospect of losing Dad, I felt called as the oldest among 5 siblings to help shepherd my family's spiritual and emotional life in that trying time. That required me to tap strength from somewhere else. I found myself returning to regular spiritual practice, and in the process, rekindling connections with extended family and friends. Notwithstanding the overwhelming grief of losing my father, I experienced so much love and comfort in those moments of reconnection. Soon, the time came for me to go back to Durham. I then realized that I needed a beloved community, a home away from home amid my bereavement. At that point, I rekindled my UU faith and started looking for a suitable congregation. Not long after, I found ERUUF, where as an attendee, I felt so much warmth, acceptance, and connection that I felt called to join as a member. Finally, weeks ago, I formally became part of the fellowship. Now, As we continue to reflect on what holds us all together within Unitarian Universalism, I would like to invite you all to remember moments in which we genuinely felt loved as a member or friend of this fellowship. I would guess that the power of that love was what eventually helped you get through difficult times. It made you consider service in various ways within and beyond ERUUF. Each of us may have different ways to describe what it's like to be part of ERUUF, but personally, as a UU believer of the teachings of Jesus, I believe that our shared love is divine, and that our beloved community can be considered a way to encounter God in a transformative sense. In closing, my hope is that we all experience a kind of love in this community that strengthens us in times of difficulty and empowers us to love and serve others. Amen. Ashe. May it be so.
There are many words with overt religious or canonical connections which non-theists avoid. Faith is one of those words, especially in its general connotation of belief in the supernatural or the unknowable. This morning, I want to briefly explore the idea of a non-theist meaning for faith. I am proposing an alternative meaning for faith as belief in the natural, an inner strength derived from the knowable. A few years ago, in my Spiritual Odyssey talk, I shared with ERUUF some of the challenges in my life, challenges which had shaped me. I described these experiences being in a red-hot crucible, the crucible being the vessel which takes molten iron ore through the blast furnace, where impurities are burned away, leaving behind the pure metal. One of the worst of those experiences was when our daughter was hospitalized with a life-threatening eating disorder. Her body emaciated, her beautiful mind shattered. What got me through those times was knowledge that the human core of her being remained and would pull her through. I had faith that her strength would in turn restore me to spiritual health. This week, over a decade later, our daughter posted on Facebook that her 2 teenaged foster children had gotten their GEDs. Not only has her inner strength pulled her through, she has taken 2 others off the street and set them up for productive lives. And her parents have been restored. How did I know, going through the blast furnace all those years ago, that this would be the outcome? My inner strength derives from a belief in the inherent goodness of people, a belief system modeled for me by my Christian mother, but tempered by the pragmatic atheism of my father. It is faith in the knowable as I see this goodness lived out in the actions of others every day of my life. I will admit that my faith-derived inner strength is not an absolute. It's more like a rechargeable battery. Lenore and I just returned from a trip to Ireland, which should be noted is a country which is officially neutral in world politics, and not coincidentally, is inhabited by the nicest, kindest, most generous people we have ever met in our travels. These human interactions that we had while we were there recharged my battery. But I don't have to go across the ocean to find a supercharger station. There was one right here, not referring to the one in the parking lot, referring to the one that's right here in this sanctuary. That is why I, as a non-theist, come repeatedly to a religious place shared with theists. Goodness and the power of salvation through restoration are not exclusive to any one group of people. They are fundamental to the human core in each of us. I find it here in all of you, and through you, my faith battery is recharged. Thus, as a self-described religious humanist, as a non-theist, I have faith in the goodness of humans. Daily, I tap into our inherent power to make the world a better place. My faith lies in our inherent natural ability to bring about heaven on earth. This is the source of my inner strength. And if those in the pews with me choose to spell goodness as godliness, then that's fine with me. Thank you.
It takes many resources as we weave the fabric of beloved community in our congregation. It includes the offering of our time, talent, creativity, imagination, and treasure, all given as we cultivate hearts of generosity toward our mission, vision, and work in the world. As the greeters are coming forward to pass the collection pouches, you may place something in it, or we invite you to point your device to the QR code on the screen, or use the QR code on one of the cards you'll find in the pew rack, which will take you directly to our online portal. If you need assistance with any of this, you can receive help in the office directly after the service. Our beloved community chorus will continue now with the offertory singing, "We Shall Be Known."
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn
thanks for all the many gifts of beloved community, especially the gift of belonging. Wendy now in the chorus will lead us in our closing hymn.
Yes, please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our closing hymn, number 331, Life is the Greatest Gift of All. It's in the gray hymnal, or the lyrics are on the screen.
Our closing words today come from the poem Exhortation of the Dawn by Kalidasa.
Look to this day,
for it is life, the very life of life.
In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence.
The bliss of growth,
the glory of action,
the splendor of beauty.
For yesterday is but a dream,
and tomorrow is only a vision.
But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness,
and every tomorrow a vision of hope.
Look well, therefore, to this day.
Amen. Ashe. May we make it so.